Final number 2 underway, and you can see some similarities. Both players running Paladin, but that's about it.
Yeah, just one of the same classes in there, otherwise differing a bit. And I should take this time right now to say I told you so. Zoro, not only did I say he was going to advance, but I told you how he was going to advance. He was going to fall down to the lower bracket, and then he's going to win 3-2 in the final game.
You did
So
call that, so that's pretty impressive.
basically all he does is he barely wins. He always finds a way to win somehow in the end, like 3-2. So. I do have to agree with you. I was pretty surprised to see him make it. He was one of the players that I wasn't quite as impressed with casting the Celestial Championship Series a week and a half ago or so. And but he did manage to win that as well. So yeah, when I saw him, barely qualify for this tournament, I was looking at some of the qualifying matches coming into this, and yeah, barely qualified for this, and then managed to fight his way out of that losers bracket, and then finally got to the group stages, but then fell again, and finally he made it here, and has defeated a lot of great players along the way. So once again, can't count this guy out at all. So in any case,
All
we
right.
have that Paladin Mirror here and Zombie Chow to start things off.
Yeah, Zombie Chow, a card that theoretically is great in Paladin, especially like the mini minions Paladin deck. But it does seem like we're seeing two very different varieties of that. And unless I am mistaken, I'm going to have to do a teeny tiny little bit of research arena on here. The big thing for me that's kind of the question mark is that let's see, what is that middle card in his hand? That is I thought it was Holy Wrath there for a second, but.
Oh, Solemn Vigil?
Solemn Vigil. Yeah, it's a new one on me.
Yeah,
Don't
Solemn Vigil is the 5 mana
draw two.
draw 2 cards, and it costs less for each minion that has died this
I
turn.
don't see that very often. Definitely a new card to decks I've seen before.
Well, yeah, not a, for those of you guys wondering, not a TGT card. It's a Blackrock Mountain card.
Yeah, it came out in the last expansion.
Yeah, that could have asked me. Didn't have to look it up. I have that off the top of my head. TGT cards, don't know all the names for those quite yet, but Blackrock Mountain, I got those down.
All right, so talk about why you'd include Solemn Vigil. I guess you have those turns where you just trade everything into everything else, and maybe you get some extra cards early on. But at least from what we've seen, maybe that's a better option than putting Divine Favor in your deck. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where if you do something like a Quality Consecrate, you basically get a free 2 cards on the back of it, which is kind of nice. And also if you're using things like Muster for Battle, which pretty much every Paladin is, you can be in situations where you can trade your guys as well, and all you have to do is trade in 2 guys, and all of a sudden costs 1 mana. So definitely a card worth playing. Interesting that we saw the Tempo BGH out of Weishing the turn earlier, and now he's agonizing a bit over whether he should go face or not, or clear one of these 1/1s. It could be the same thing in the end as far as the trade. So yeah, he's just considering it.
All right, well, tiny trades, and more importantly, if all those Silverhand recruits survive, then maybe you get to draw some cards next turn. I don't know, but
Yeah,
either way,
could be what he's thinking actually. Could be maybe he just clears some stuff off the board next turn, particularly if his Quartermaster doesn't get enough value. Then that could be something that he could do. Maybe even draw on something to play, like a Sludge Belcher. So on the side of Zoro, I mean, he could play out this True Silver Champion, but I mean, he can clear most of this board just with his current board. I mean, he could also play out this Silverhand Regent, maybe put some pressure on his opponent to clear that out right now. But
so
yeah.
theoretically, you just swing with all of your Silverhand recruits and look for. Do you play Knife Juggler? So you paused for me, so I don't have the updated info.
Yeah, he went ahead and went with the True Silver Champion and cleared out the Big Game Hunter. Could have gone with that Knife Juggler. I suppose he has the option of Knife Juggler Muster for Battle the following turn, which is definitely powerful. But I mean, I feel like he used his True Silver to clear a minion when it really could have cleared with the weapon in hand and got another dude anyway. So I mean, I guess you developed the true silver, but in the end, not the most value for that weapon. And yeah, it looks like he's just gonna this turn clear out the board, or go clear out the first half of that Haunted Creeper and go with the Knife Juggler Unleash. Doesn't not Unleash. I'm sorry. Got that stuck in my head. Knife Juggler muster for a battle. Only clears off one of the Spectral Spiders. So kind of a back and forth game a bit here. Unfortunately, after having played the Solemn Vigil for 4 minutes the turn before, Weishing a bit behind here.
All right, so yeah, like you said, little tiny bit behind, and I'm still having some buffering issues. So I'll try to fix those up. But either way, the Vigil gets you double Quartermasters in hand and a Tyrion. So suffice it to say, something a hand maybe a little bit further down the road.
Yeah, you saw him play the Owl out there just to get, an extra knife into, worst case scenario, if the Knife Juggler lives, then, it's not able to make any knives anymore. But it was basically just to try to get something stick on the field, just for a little bit. Zoro, I'm not sure what he emoted there, but kind of interesting. But yeah, in any case, Weishing just wants to get something to stick on the field so that he can get some value out of these Quartermasters. But yeah, Zoro not going to afford him that time to do so.
All right. Well, the one silver hand recruit Quartermaster value, so we just got a chance to see there. Not that big of a tempo swing by any means. But what's the play here? Sludge Belcher into Silence and Clear.
Sludge Belcher into silence. Yeah, you don't really want to use silence, especially because your opponent's. Just looking at the cards he's played so far, he's definitely playing a more controlled version of Paladin. So Tyrion's definitely coming out there. It's, maybe even Sylvanas at a later date. So you don't want to be using your silence for that. It could be the only silence in the entire deck. So you don't want to do that for just a 3/3. You have other ways to clear this. Even if you couldn't clear it out, you have to kind of be patient with this.
True Silver seems to be the route to go for, and he is going to go ahead, throw it down, and then just proceed to, well, I guess he's not going to clear the board anyway. It will get the value off of that Inspire, and there are 3 Silver Hand recruits out there on the field waiting for the Quartermaster draw.
I gotta say, I'm not really a big fan of Zoro's play so far, at least in this match. It seems like he's being way too reactive. Like, he could have just played a Sludge Belcher, and that contests the board better than, anything he just did. Instead, he goes for the play which immediately kills his opponent's stuff, rather than developing his own board, which is typically what you want to be doing in this game we call Hearthstone. Yeah, it looks like he's going to clear the board. This turn it was pretty much played itself. Go ahead and owl the Tyrion, and then, you have 6 mana left over, so you play Murloc Knight and you dude. And perfectly standard 3/2 Puddle Stomper coming out of there.
Yeah, pretty much the average outcome of the Murloc Knight. You can get like super lucky and get what's the best Murloc to get?
It's basically among 3 candidates. Probably the War Leader. If you really need damage, then you want to have the
Old Murkai. And if you're looking for just like stats, then I guess Grimscale Oracle.
Grimscale Oracle, isn't that the 1/1?
Whoa, yeah, it is.
Looking for the Sitflin.
Siltfin.
Siltfin? Yeah, maybe Siltfin. Siltfin. The one that gives you, it has the most health, and it therefore it's the hardest to kill, and you want to kill the Murloc Knight anyway. And when you kill the Murloc Knight, you get a card out of it, so that's kind of nice.
That's true. So hey, at least there's some value there. But at least as far as the rest of the tournament's concerned, probably not going to see that. I don't know. We might if we see more Murloc Knight value.
Yep. Gonna go ahead and make a dude and then play the fencing coach. Good sequencing there. Gonna get the value for next turn. So maybe he can go double Sludge Belcher dude if that opportunity presents itself. But yeah, this is why you put the fencing coach in the deck, is to make sure that you get you get the tempo when you need it, and sometimes you lose tempo in certain turns. But it's kind of like opposite overload for the shaman essentially. And
I want to see paladin decks that include like more actual murlocs in it to get more murloc synergy. Like that's the dream right there.
you just want to you just want to see a Murloc Paladin deck. Let's
Some
be
people
honest.
just want to watch the world burn. That's pretty true. All right, so board clear coming out here, and definitely a good position for Zoro to be in. I'd call him Boro, but no, it's not that boring. Actually, really exciting, and I don't see too many TGT cards in Zoro's deck either. So
Yeah,
this
Zoro, you can
is
see there he missed the hero power. Now he's going to float 2 mana, so could have had an extra dude on the field. Not the best use of fencing coach when you forget to hero power, unfortunately. But I don't think you should exacerbate it by not hero power area. You go ahead and make that dude. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a concede from Weishing. Too much tempo on the side of Zoro, and that's going to be it. As far as that game went, I think it was just really poor draws on the side of Weishing slash Zihao. Honestly, there were a lot of plays that I disagreed with Zoro, but it takes out the game. That's kind of the story of his run so far.
Yeah, Zoro, so many times I've seen this guy in positions where he should lose, or maybe he's going into an unfavorable matchup, and when it counts, he just pulls it out there in the very end. So while we may expect to see this series go all the way to a 5-game set, it's starting off well for Zoro, 1 game up. So now he's going to have to switch things up a little bit and go to the Demon Lock, playing that into the more mid-rangey Beast Hunter.
Yep, this matchup is somewhat even, maybe slightly favoring the Zoo lock right there, because it can typically get into a bit of a faster start and pressure the opponent. On the side of the Hunter, if you get a bad draw, you can fall behind because Zoo likes to swarm the board. So unless you get that Night Dragon Unleash, you might be in trouble. But as we can see right there, he does have the Night Dragon Unleash, and lucky for him, this web spinner completely contests this Abusive Sergeant.
Yeah, Web Spinner is just such a good one drop, especially if you're playing more of a mid-rangey tempo kind of deck. So great to see that out there. And it always feels bad to play the Abusive Sergeant. You just put it down on the board and you're just like, I get no value. It's super weak. He's going to get 4 to the face, but I don't know. Still a relatively weak board here.
Yeah, it makes sense here to not tap because, I mean, you don't really need cards against the Hunter. You're just playing out of the hand that you have and hope that it's going to be good enough. And he has a turn 3 play, has a turn 4 play, and he has 2 draws for this coming turn, and the next turn after that to get something to contest the board. So on the side of Weishing, decides to go with the Darolf Alpha that they got off with the Web Spinner instead of doing something like coin into Animal Companion. Really favoring, the ability to use that coin to go into the Tundra Rhino and potentially Night Dragon Unleash afterward. Although maybe he might use it right now. After this, if this implosion goes for 4.
Which lagged out on my stream right as he was playing it.
Well, I mean, he was waving around. Now he's playing it, and it hits for 4, which is huge because if it hit
my god!
If it hit for 3. Then,
esports.
Yeah, if it hit for 3, then he has to run the Imp King boss in, or even if he decides not to, I mean, Weishing can just run his Misha into the Imp King boss, and it dies, and there's only imps on the field against a Night Dragon Unleash. Instead, this Imp King boss is going to be spawning more imps potentially out of this Unleash. So, yeah, Zoro's unhappy about this, but he should be thanking his lucky stars because this game would have been 1,000% over if he didn't roll for 4 on that implosion.
Wow, yeah, and now this is so weird to see these dogs out against an Imp Gang boss because it's just like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and kill off all of these imps, but then I'm gonna spawn a million more. If he decided to throw those last 2 in there. But either way, a really good Unleash turn, and that's that kind of tempo swing that might just put Weishing a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it also obviously is tempting to go for that, and obviously there's a lot of damage on the board to go for that Night Dragon Unleash, but maybe it could have been something where he used the bow 1 turn and got set up for an even better Night Dragon Unleash because usually that's the play that ends the game, right? You play Night Dragon Unleash against almost any board from the zoo and you win the game. But in that case, the Imp King boss pretty much neutered it because of the fact that it spawned more minions after he was able to play that. In the case, we're going in this turn, why? Okay. I was a little bit confused there. He's reacting kind of. He's gotten no tomorrow syndrome. He's reacting positively to negative news. Put his arms up. I thought he won the joust, but it turns out he lost it narrowly. In any case, okay, the game goes on. Rapid, Savy, what is happening?
Yeah, and that's what the problem that you have with No Tomorrow, or with No Tomorrow specifically from our previous matchup. He would just like make these random reactions, and you're just like, wait, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. But with Zihao this time around,
Zihao Weishing.
Zihao Weishing. With Weishing this time, he's kind of pulling the same idea.
All right, so we see this tracking coming out from Weishing, deciding between this Lothab.
Lothab or a high main.
Yeah, the Lothab he can play this turn, immediately contest this board, whereas the high main is a little bit better on the next turn. And you're not going to see too many spells coming out of the Warlock anyway. So, I mean, you can just play the Tundra Rhino this turn and, you know, get that menacing minion onto the board to really contest. And if your opponent leaves it alive, well, now you have a charging high main. Oh, just kidding. He's going to go for the bow. Gonna clear that out, and yeah, clear out the Knife Juggler. Maybe play his own Knife Juggler? No, he's going to go ahead and Hero Power.
Alright, yeah, that does clear at least a little bit of the board. You can get that Flame Imp value by killing off your Void Caller. But nothing to kill it off against, so there won't be a way to get that down there. But he will be able to play out his entire hand, so the demon spam continues.
Yeah, no need to sack off your Void Caller when you can just play Doomguard and not discard anything at all. So, yeah, Zoro gonna go ahead and go with that. Can even just play out the Flame Imp, not worried about his health total one bit. Has 10 more than his opponent actually, and he is threatening 11 on the field. So. Definitely an amazing position for Zoro. And where does this knife go? Does it even matter? I guess it does if it hits the Void Caller. Misses. So what does he do with this the Tundra Rhino? He's gonna clear that out. Hold on to his weapon, and Void Walker picked up on the side of Zoro. Has the Imp King, or not? Excuse me, not the Imp King boss. The Implosion again. And yeah, probably just kill that Knife Juggler, probably just take out this Tundra Rhino because it's also a threat, and play out your Void Walker, and now you're threatening lethal, and there's absolutely nothing for Weishing to do, unless he picks up a Beast, and I don't know, he had to get a Beast, and then go Ramling. No, he got the Beast! Go for the Ramling! No! Why are you ruining the fun?
Oh my gosh.
Why are you ruining the fun for us? I know even if you draw King Flash, you still can't win, but it was for the viewers. Weishing. Zihao, I don't even know what your name is anymore. Literally, I actually just don't know. So in any case, Zoro up 2-0. The underdogs in both these matches are just putting it to the upper dogs, the favorites. Yeah, both players who got out of the group stages with 2 wins. And actually, both of these players, speaking of Weishing and No Tomorrow, they didn't have a single loss in this entire tournament, and they're struggling here in the semifinals.
Yeah, so now we get our third matchup in a row, and of course, Zoro not happy with his hand at all, full mulligan out of there, so we're going to see a brand new hand. This is, and I mention this every time, his best class, the Druid. He'll be bringing it out versus Hunter. Not necessarily a match that he's going to be too afraid of. If this were like super aggro face Hunter, then maybe while you're ramping up, you just die, but I don't think that's something he has to worry about here.
Yeah, he knows he's going against that mid-range Hunter, and gonna issue the Coin Innervate turn 1 Pilot Treader. He does have that Wrath, but this is the reason why he held on to it for this exact moment. Not gonna be expecting the Innervate Keeper, and look at Weishing's face. Lots of disgust there. This is how you win games as the Druid versus the Hunter. And don't know what that says. Maybe a little bit of salt's coming out of Weishing. Picks up the top deck Animal Companion though, and gets a Leog. Ouch.
Wow, yeah, not quite the card he was looking for. Maybe if he gets, hits a huge Unleash next turn. No, it's not going to happen. But when you think about it, Force of Nature is like the best card that you can play versus Hunter, because you can play out all those minions, and even if they survive, they die, so that then your opponent can't unleash the hounds against them. So it's like, so perfect. But
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's like they killed themselves off, so you don't have to worry about them sticking around. It's like it just seemed genius there to me for a second. And that second is an illustration of how long I've been casting all night long. It's now 8:30 in the morning when I started around, I don't know, a few hours after midnight. So it's been a while. But here we go. We get to see the Tempo Hound Master.
Yeah, it does contest this very well, so it's perfectly fine to do that, better than doing absolutely nothing, or Hound Mastering and then, or not, excuse me, the Unleash the Hounds and Hunter's Mark for one Hound. Not the best situation there. Goes for the Loatheb, and actually the Hunter is getting back on board, and this is why I was a little bit skeptical of Zoro's play, to go ahead and go with the Wrath the last turn. Yes, he drew a card, but now he's finding himself falling behind even after that really good start. Going back to your comment about the Force Nature, though, I'm pretty sure the reason why Force Nature is so good against Hunter is because you get to proc those damn freezing traps. You got big minions on the board, and you can't swing with them because there's a freaking freezing trap up, and you go Force Nature, get rid of it, and you have 2 treants left over just to attack into guys, and you have the leftover treant to attack into as well. Anyway, sorry.
Unless it's Explosive Trap, and then you just get owned. So. Hopefully you test for that ahead of time.
Hopefully. And we see an Oasis Snapshot. This is the second time we've seen this. I guess Chinese players just know the meta better than NA.
Starting to catch on a little bit.
I'm loving this. I'm loving the Oasis Snapshot and the Midrange Hunter. Just so much. It just makes it so much more consistent to get out those Ram Wranglers. And we know we want to see more Ram Wrangler action.
Ram Wrangler action. Sure, D2. Yeah, definitely want to see those.
You don't want to see Ram Wranglers? Come on.
I love Ram Wranglers. Yeah, it's surprisingly few Ram Wranglers have been played D2, so I'm missing them. But hopefully we'll get a chance to see a few of those out there. Got beasts on both sides of the board here. Tiny Doge, Big Doge. They're all out there. So it's a little bit of a zoo here, even though no player is playing Warlock.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, we did see the double CLZoro, speaking of those Ram Wranglers earlier. Maybe we're too spoiled, and so the Hearthstone gods decided, no more Ram Wranglers for you. You've seen enough. In any case, the Dr. Boom is almost certainly going to be coming out on the side of Weishing here, and he's thoroughly taking back the board after that horrible start, getting his Knife Juggler ruthlessly killed by that Keeper of the Grove, and all Zoro can do here is maybe play a Sylvanas or draw some cards here. Yeah, gonna go for the Sylvanas. No, just kidding, faking us out. Alright, back to the Sylvanas. Oh, a little bit of lag there, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it is, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the Sylvanas' turn. Everything else just feels really bad, so...
We do have the Ram Wrangler, and we have the synergy. We can unleash the Hound's Ram Wrangler. I think that's the play here. Oh no, it takes the Dr. Boom. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Yeah, gonna go ahead and kill the Dr. Boom. I guess it was too threatening. You really want to get the high main out there on an empty board, and if you leave the Sylvanas up, bad things can happen if the opponent clears out those boom bots. You can get a 7/7 for free essentially because the Sylvanas came out first, so it makes it a bit of sense to trade out first. And we see that there is the Ancient of War and the Big Game Hunter. A little bit too late for that though.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dr. Boom has already come and gone, and then come over to the other side, and then gone from that other side. The Captain's Parrot. It's like the inverse Gazrilla.
It's the exact opposite of Gazrilla. Probably one of the worst things you can get. The worst thing, actually, I believe.
Yeah, it's a 1/1.
Unless there's a... I mean, maybe if you got the Beast and your opponent had no target for BGH and it gives them a 3/3. That's... Other than that, I mean, you had to find a Beast that has a negative effect to be worse than Captain's Parrot, essentially, is how hard you have to try. But, yeah. Captain's Parrot just gonna get killed by a hero power. Ram Wrangler not doing the job.
Captain's Parrot, why?
You didn't even give me green skin. Oh no, so bad. Okay, so the King's Light comes out, and the Owl loses to the Belcher. Things not going well for Weishing whatsoever.
Weishing, look at that Ancient Warriors, like 10 health. That is an interesting health total. Hmm.
Well, I mean, probably gonna run the Oasis Snapjaw into it because the Snapjaw can take that kind of damage. Looking at these percentages, apparently 6.3% for him to draw Innervates. I don't know. Oh, so he can have lethal from just hand. So he can innervate hero power. I guess that makes a bit of sense. Not gonna draw it. I guess he is kind of getting low. He has to be a little bit worried. How much damage is Zoro facing at the moment? Let's see. That's 5, 10, 12. So top deck kill command will be lethal for Weishing here. And Zoro's, I mean, well, Zoro could heal. Looks like he's going to draw with the Azure Drake instead. And potentially just clear off one of these minions with the Keeper of the Grove. Yeah, looks like he was going to do that. So, again, how much damage do we have? 5, 7, 9, 10 at the moment. I don't think anything in the top section can help. Houndmaster helps a bit, but...
Nope.
Oh, he's just going to concede.
That seems somewhat premature.
He wasn't guaranteed that, and you see Zoro's a little bit confused as well, but in any case, Zoro's going to move on to the finals to face Love. And, yeah, they're going to be fighting out for $10,000. What a bizarre series.
Uh,